Hi, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Hi, everyone. Welcome to this live stream, to this live Q&A. I'm just making sure everyone can hear me. Yes, okay, great. I'm so glad. So glad to be here with you again. It's been a while. Hi, the Cobra Gypsy. Hi, Gail. Hi, Tiff. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So glad you could join on such short notice. I was just guided yesterday. Hi, Danny. So nice to see you. I was just guided yesterday to do this small gathering for all of us in the community. And, I've heard from some of you privately that you were asking some questions, you needed some assistance, or perhaps you need just a little guidance, a little help with whatever you're going through. So we are here for that. And of course, to assist especially twin flames and anyone who has any question about the spiritual path. Hi, Soul Healing. Welcome. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. Hey, Jay, sweetie. Beauty eyes from Switzerland. Oh, wonderful. I have my father is half Swiss, and my sister was just here for the holidays, and I hadn't seen her in a very long time. She was here with my nephew, and it was beautiful. And she just returned to Zurich a couple of days ago, and she said it's very cold there. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, guys. So anyway, this is going to be a live Q&A. I'm laughing too, AJ sweetie. And so any questions that you have, anything that you're going through, if it could be like a general question, so that we can do this for everyone, and if it's regarding any symptoms or anything on your twin flame or spiritual path, anything that you would like help with or assistance or any, general question or curiosity that you might have, we're here to answer all of this. So if you guys want to type in your questions, you're welcome to do that. And yes, let's get started with that. I just want to say real quickly, I will be doing a collective healing next weekend. And I'm guessing that probably after all the questions today, hi Louise, after all the questions today, I'm already feeling the energies of healing. So we're probably going to get some light language and healing for the whole group, and to address some of the main concerns or the main themes that may show up. So please don't, oh, sorry about that, it was my email. So please don't be shy, and this is the time to be in this sacred space and to ask any questions or any concerns that you may have, or anything that you would like to share. Okay, so hi, Kevin Jones. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first question. For those of you who are new here, this is the first time that I do this kind of Q&A, and it's especially to assist all of you who may need some assistance in anything that you're going through right now regarding twin flame journey, spiritual journey, healing, dark night of the soul, symptoms, anything with your gifts opening, anything of the kind, anything 5D or 3D. We will try to address everything as highly as possible. So, okay. I'm starting to see some questions, so I'm going to go ahead and start answering, and you can just write your questions on the chat box and we will see how far we get. Okay, guys. And first, I think I'm going to do a little clearing before we get into all of your questions, just to set, the space, to protect the space. And if you want, you can just follow me. If you can just start to breathe in deeply and close your eyes. We're just going to do a little a little attunement. We're going to remove some energies. Okay. So I'm starting to see that we're receiving a lot of gold, like a golden net around us. Okay, and the gold is starting to expand. It's starting to permeate the space where you are, your body, your system. And we're going to go into the throat right away. I'm feeling some choking there, some fear of expression. So we're just going to set an infinity symbol over the throat of everyone. And of course, this is, we're including your twin flame here, your divine counterpart, their higher self, if they're wanting to receive this. Shaya Mahiakaya no Oya Beakaya Nea Dayandaya no Shuriya Mahiaka. Starting to breathe in deeply. We're starting to receive this waterfall of light. Bringing in peace and washing away everything and all that is not serving you, any concerns, any anxiety, any pain, any sorrow, anything that has bubbled to the surface lately. I'm going to release everything that is not aligned with the peace and the love and the miracle of this moment in time. And we're setting free the feminine and the masculine. Breathing in. Okay, now we're calling in all of your team of light, your divine assistants, your divine selves, your higher self. And we're inviting these energies to ground through your body, through all of your layers, into the core of Mother Earth, into the beautiful planet. And she's presenting us a pregnant woman, so it's like the belly of a pregnant woman. So there's this mother-like quality that is coming forward for us today. This well-needed nurturance and healing and assistance. And we're going to ask our spirits, our divine selves, to express through their highest expression, to integrate and to receive everything and the most that they can receive today for their own journeys, for what is available for them now, and for what is perfect for them now. All the clarity, all the understanding, and all the energetic impressions, activations, and codes, anything that may come in as a healing tool for this now moment and for your union. And we're going to set pillars of protection all around this beautiful circle, this golden circle. We're just going to ask that this field is sustained in the most high energy through the gold and the silver, through the angelic realms, for support and assistance. And I want to set the intention that all questions may benefit the majority of us, and that all the messages that need to come to each one of you today, that they are divinely guided to you in whatever shape, form is most beneficial and has the greatest potential and can generate the most high understanding in you, in your soul. And so it is. Okay, so grounding through the feminine and the masculine. Okay. Wonderful, guys. So, welcome. Now we were welcomed by the energies too. So, let me go ahead and catch up with the messages, okay? Just gonna go up a little bit here. Okay. So, Soul Healing Intuition says, do you know much about the Kundalini? You mean the Kundalini energy, right? Well, I do know a bit. I've been, well, I was doing Kundalini yoga for a long time, and I've been a student of Jogi Bhajan's teachings. So I did do my research and practiced most of all Kundalini yoga, and that's where I got a lot of my understanding. And then further along on my journey, I also did some work with a spiritual teacher from India who was actually doing Shaktipat, which are transmissions to activate the Kundalini energy. But I can tell you, Soul Healing Intuition, from my own experience that it is a beautiful subject. I think it has a lot of symbolism involved and a lot of metaphors that sometimes are taken literally and the other way around. So it's really, again, for you to experience individually and to go as deep and as far as you're guided to, as your higher self guides you. So through the spiritual path, sometimes we encounter certain topics, certain things that draw our attention. And it is always good to investigate. It is always good to take out your glasses and read and find the information, try to look at various sources, especially books are very good, where you can get some good information. And, if it's something that has been coming into your field or that you're curious about, it would be wonderful for you to go in more deeply and to see if that path has something to offer you, or maybe that is one of the next stops of your spiritual journey. The way my spiritual journey has been, and the way I developed, let's say, spiritually, was a lot like that, going from different teachings, and it was like different stops on a journey when you have like a certain destination, but in the meantime, like through the journey, you do several stops, for example, in different countries, and you learn all about one country, and then you go to another one and you learn about what that has to offer for you, and then you go to another. So that's kind of the way that I have been going through my journey, but we all have different journeys. And for some people, they stick to one discipline or one form, one way, and that works for them. So it's really what your field, what your energy is calling you to. Okay, so I hope that helps. Okay, double digits. Yes. The synchronicities have been happening a lot. Life, love, laugh. It's actually funny because in healings, for the first time, when I do personal healings, I have been starting to see actual numbers and number patterns coming into the energy field. And for some people, it's like the numbers are waiting outside their energy, let's say like their aura, and they're waiting all around to come in at certain moments. So for me, the synchronicities are codes. They have, the numbers, they are codes. They have a certain frequency. They have a certain information. And it's important for you to see this because it activates certain parts in you, the same way that certain frequencies that we hear activate certain things in our brain. The same way the numbers are doing this. So, it's not to obsess about them, but just to see them as, we are connected. There is this communication going on. And it's also for me a confirmation of, the bridges that we're building between the higher dimensions and the 3D. And it's not just the 5D, because a lot of people mention only the 5D, but it's the higher dimensions. So from 5D and beyond, with our planet, with our dimension, with the 3D, with the most dense of the realities, let's say. Okay. And we also have been activating the energy of the 144. That's also a big number, and it's been very important for me too. And I think this is also part of the it symbolizes for me personally, like the collective effort and all the people and all the humans that are awakening right now. Okay, so let me see the next question. I'm excited about this. I like questions. Okay. Artsy Psych Stylet says, I was wondering, how do you know if someone is your twin flame? And how do you feel about false twins? Do they exist? Okay. So this is a question that I get asked a lot, and of course, it's an important question. So, how do you know if someone is your twin flame? The best way that I can answer that is, if you can think about, last time, or maybe the first time that you were in love, if we can take you back there to that moment, if you can just breathe in and go back to that moment when you first, met this person and you were feeling something, and then you were like, oh my God, I'm in love. Is this what love is? Probably some of you asked that question. Maybe some of you just knew, like you knew that you were in love. So that's kind of how you know if a person is your twin flame. I know that perhaps it's not the answer that many are looking for. And there are all these things that were put out there about the signs and the typical symptoms and signs that someone is your twin flame. But for me, all of that is not really a true guideline or a way to really relate to it, because everything is different for all, even love. How you feel when you're in love is completely different than how the other person feels when they're in love. How you knew that you were in love, how that other person knew that they were in love. And, there are many times where we want to rationalize things, and we want to know, and we want to address things from the mind perspective. So the mind will write you a list. The mind will say, okay, does it have this, this, this? You can have a checklist, you can have many ways of interpreting your feelings, of saying, is this really love? Is this not really love? But there is a quality that I feel, and this is also just my experience and just my point of view, that when love is present, you just feel it. When it is your twin flame, you just feel it. There is this expansiveness to the energy. There's this feeling that you can relax. There's this, just a very, very expansive feeling, and it's filled with, with joy, with awe, with wonder about life, with magic. I mean, that's the way that it felt for me. That's the way that love always feels to me. So, I would see how you, I would see how you relate to love, how you have felt love, and, to see that it will be all of the things that you have felt, but because we're coming into a new level, and because if it's your twin flame, it's also another level, it's going to be like all of that which you felt of love, but brought even further, higher, to a higher state. So I hope this helps you to identify the feeling in you. And it's human, to question things. This is something that we do. But I had one teacher, a long time ago, that he always said, like, if you're questioning if someone is the one, if this person is the one, it's probably because it's not the one. If you have to ask yourself if that person, if you love that person, then it's probably not the one. So, if that was a message for some of you out there, it may help. But for me, with twin flames and with anything that is just right, anything that is just right for your path, it's just a feeling of, it's like when you choose, your friends, you just know this person is right for me. I can have a friendship with them. But when we talk about friendship, or when we talk about other things, we just let them be. But sometimes when it comes to this subject, and because of all the interference that came into the twin flame community, into the twin flame term, and all the misguided information that got out there, it actually started to confuse people. And I was talking about this with a friend who's also a healer, and it's like the twins kind of went into their own like labyrinths and started to lose a connection with one another because of all this misguided information and all of these different places where they were like guided to or split out. And the more information you receive about something, the less likely you are to make up your mind about it. If you're analyzing everything through the mind. So, sometimes it's just good to go back to basics, go to even to childhood, and to really know and to be in that innocence of being, and to say, okay, is this love that I'm feeling? Am I feeling loved? Because these are beautiful questions, and these are true questions that sometimes we don't even ask ourselves. There are the two currents of not asking, or maybe asking too much. But we have to find a balance where, whatever comes through, it just feels right. And you will know. Like, you will know when the person that is meant for you is there. Because you will just, well, the way I felt it was, you will just feel held. You will just feel safe. If you never feel safe, you will feel safe. You will feel whole and just peaceful, in a very peaceful state. Okay, so I hope this helps. And it helps you go a little bit more into your own experience of this. Okay. Hi, Caffeine Jones. Okay, so let's go to the other question. Stephanie says, can you touch on the energetics involved with sex with twin? Why would one feel completely wiped out the day after making love with twin? Okay, this is also a good question. Okay, well, we could go into, maybe I would have to go into more details if it's like a more specific thing, or something that has been a pattern. But if it's just something that happened once, it may be completely normal. Because when we have, when we have sacred sex, or when we have sex with the twin, when there's this energetic exchange, sometimes we go into doing a lot of healing. So, well, not sometimes, always. So it's not just, it depends on many things. It depends on how your practice of making love is. It depends on your energy states also of both of you. It depends on what you're going through individually. Because if one of you is depleted, either the one that is depleted receives the energy and both are balanced, or if he's really, really, or she's really, really depleted, it may deplete the other one too. So it depends on a lot of factors, dear Stephanie. But it may be, or what I'm getting is that it may be because you are healing something from the past for both of you. And I think it also maybe has to do with exactly with the act of making love. If there was any abuse or any timelines of abuse for any of you, this may be the reason. But we can go more into detail of that. If you wish to, you can write me an email, and we can talk about this more if you need more assistance with that. So I hope that helps. Hi, Wendy. Nice to meet you too. Okay, so AJ says, thanks a million for facilitating the Q&A. Lana, beauty. Oh, thank you. If possible, could you please talk about false twin flames? Oh, yes, I forgot to talk about false twin flames. Okay. So when we are first, if you are, well, it doesn't really matter if you're awakened or not by your twin flame, but sometimes there are these, let's say, other divine masculines, because I don't like to call them false twin flames because it just feels like very negative to me. And it's not like they're pretending to be something they're not, but they're just other divine masculines that are presented in your path. And it may happen for some they may not experience it. I have seen all different kinds of flavors in this too. For me personally, I did have experience kind of like this other divine masculine that was like the energy and what he brought me to, that like the triggers and so many things that got awakened in me brought me to the actual twin flame journey. So it was like a crucial step for me, and I actually see all of these divine masculines as a reflection, and as like a reflection of the unhealed divine feminines that we have. So however this plays out for you. But so if you are being prepared to go on the twin flame journey, remember this is a spiritual journey, this is energetic, and your energy and all parts of you need to be in that state of union, in that state of self-love. So when you are kind of getting prepared for that, and you may have been getting prepared like all your life since you were kids, you have a little bit of extra support. The angels are there. You're being guided. So we are guided to certain people and to certain divine masculines to awaken or to heal a part of our divine feminines that need to be healed in order to get to the next step, to the next level. And when we get to the next level, that's when we're able to meet our twin flame, or that's when we, both our twin flame and us, are able to meet. So it's kind of like, the way I see it is more like a helping hand, even though they may bring a lot of disaster and a lot of heartbreak and many things into people's life. But if you are shown your wounds, you are able to heal them. sometimes we don't want to see our wounds, or we think that we have healed them. And these divine masculines or divine feminines kind of volunteer to come into this relationship with us, or come into contact with us, to show us where we still need more self-love, where we still need more healing, where we need perhaps more courage, even the courage to leave them, to leave these people. And I was talking to a patient earlier. We were talking about, how to resolve certain contracts, and I was telling her, the moment that there is any abuse through any of the parties, that contract, that soul contract, that relationship is void, is nulled. The thing that you need to do, if anyone is being abusive towards you in any way, is to really get yourself to a safe place, to really remove yourself from that situation altogether. That's the way I see it. And, to put yourself first, to put your self-love, to put you in a safe space, in a place where you are being appreciated, where you are being valued, where you are feeling good, where you are, of course we have a lot of not gray areas, but of course everything is a process, and we don't get from being unhealed to being healed in 1 second. It's a journey, but there's a part in us inside, and that's part of our inner child. When the inner child feels threatened, and when it's scared, and when it doesn't feel safe, get yourself out of there. No matter how many people tell you, oh my God, this is your twin flame, you have to endure this, or you have to. No, for me, that is not true. That we don't have to endure any kind of suffering, any kind of mistreat, any kind of violence, or any kind of behavior from the other person that makes us feel bad or threatened, or anything like that. And of course in twin flames, and of course in any relationships, we have ups and downs. There are moments where we may feel very bad, and we may feel angry at the other one, but there are levels in that. So just to really know that if you have your alarm level and it's like going off, to remove yourself from that. Okay, so back to the quote unquote lost twin flames. So for some of you, you may meet 1 or 2 or 3, or many divine masculines through your life, or many divine femmes through your life, that will each activate a part of you. So as you heal that part of you, it's like you heal it and you get it activated. And the next person you meet that comes along, if you're still in that level of healing, maybe they will activate another part. So it's not to say that all of these men or women that you're coming in contact with, especially when you are already aware of the journey, it's not about it's not to say that they're false, or that they're not like the one, or they're not the twin flame, but it's more to say, we are multidimensional, we are all one, and they are aspects of your divine masculine that are coming forward through this particular person. Because in the end, what you're healing is your own divine masculine and divine feminine energy, to bring them to union. And when you do that, you're able to bring in, or to meet, your twin flame that has already married his divine feminine, his divine masculine, and to bring that into the 3D. So, that takes also a little bit off the pressure of, who is my twin? Is this my twin? Is the other person my twin? Because all of that, wanting to define something that is just the way it is, can cause a lot of anxiety, and a lot of sometimes heartbreak and deception and a disillusionment for many. But if you build on your spiritual practice, you build on your self-confidence, your self-worth, you learn the lessons, you continue on your journey, and you see everyone and everything that comes as a part of your journey, as a part of your twin flame journey, you will get there much sooner than you think. And everything, you will see why all of these people had to come in before, and what kind of service they were actually rendering to you and to your twin flame and to your relationship. Because there are things that we need to clear before we come into union with our twin flame. Okay. Okay, so I hope that answered the question. Let me see. Oh, and my dear Chris, dear Cobra Gypsy, I hope that helped your question. Let me know if I answered that for you. If you want me to go deeper, let me know, my dear. Okay. So Soul Healing Intuition says, I have noticed, and my daughter noticed lately since my awakening, the snake eyes. Sometimes she catches it. I wonder if this is the Kundalini energy. How do you mean she notices snake eyes? Like somewhere in like in vision, like somewhere in the room, or in either one of you? Can you elaborate a little bit on this, dear Soul Healing? Okay, and Kathleen Jones says, I have no question. I just love hearing your voice. Oh my God. You're so beautiful, Kathleen. Thank you. Okay. And Wendy says, can you be in separation, like giving the outcome out of hands and still communicate daily? My DM wants to be friends. Okay, like giving the outcome out of hands, you mean like surrendering, right? Well, yes, you can actually, dear Wendy. Actually, I have seen a lot of twin flames that are friends, or that initially there's this connection, then they decide to just be friends, and then things shift. So yes, of course, it's possible, and it's actually, from what I have seen in my experience, it can be, a very nice and very good preparation somehow, because it has the two things. It can be very hard because you're seeing this person that you love all the time, but it can also be, for some twins, they have to go through really like silent separations, or they go through these very, like no communication. So that can also be super hard. So, if your DM wants to be friends, and it depends on the particular reason, but of course you can be friends, and it's also a good state, and it's a good place of energy where you both can continue to work on yourselves while also not losing the connection, or not falling too far apart. Okay, so Sharonda says, okay. Oh, I love that. She says, you will know, she said it to Artsy Psych, you will know you found your twin when you know inside that your search is over. Surrender to divine timing after that and keep working on being your best self. Thank you, Sharanda, for that. It's beautiful. And I couldn't have said it better. Okay. So let me see here. Hi, am I? I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so Gail says, what advice do you have for twin flames coming back into union and DFs being fearful of the connection and reoccurrence of separation? Yeah, okay, this is a big one, a common one as well. I would say to work on the DF's fear and to resolve that fear and to resolve that fear with safety. So it's if you are in union with your twin, and if he has been through his spiritual journey too, and you are coming into union, or you're talking about coming into union, or union is presenting, it's always good to do healing work for yourself and for the other person and for the connection, especially regarding that, because we do have, these subconscious fears or even conscious fears. So a fear is something that can just, it doesn't do anything bad, but it can sometimes delay these unions. So it's important that you, if you can, and if you are really coming, and or if you are already in union, to discuss these feelings together, and to perhaps coming to a resolution of healing this together or healing this apart from each other. But there has to be a part where the masculine heals that part of, I didn't provide a safe space for the feminine, and or I was fearful, and that's why I left, and for the feminine, it's like healing the part of you that is not allowed to trust the change in the divine masculine, or the new energies, or just simply addressing that fear specifically. So, and also for both, maybe addressing the whole issue of separation, if there were repetitive separations, especially. So to really understand why, and to see perhaps the benefits, of those momentary separations, but to see if you guys are now ready to really come into this union. And if you want that, of course, and if you're together, you can heal that even more rapidly. Okay, so I hope that helps. Okay, so give me just 1 second, you guys. I'm going to turn on the light because there was just the sunset here, and I'm just sitting in the dark. So give me just 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so let's see. Okay, TP says, hi TP. Do light children that are coming in for twins hang around the parents before incarnating? Yes, they do. Oh, that's a beautiful question. And yes, they do. Actually, all children, all souls that are going to incarnate, they hang around with the parents before. And it could be months before. It can even be, like 1 year or 6 months before the baby's actually, or the soul, sorry, the soul is actually getting ready to be conceived. So it can be even before conception. and when there, of course, when there's the conception, when the mother is in a pregnancy, the souls come back and forward into the mother's body all the time. Or that's how it's how it's described, and they say that only after the 3rd month is when the soul really comes into the body and stays in the body. Sorry, my throat. I'm just going to. But yes, that's a beautiful question. And yes, it happens. And you may dream about these children. They may present in dreams, or even like in meditations, or they may appear in different ways. Or you may see perhaps a movie and you see a child and you feel very identified with the personality. Like they start to show you, hey, I'm picking you and I'm coming. And it's very beautiful if you're able to experience that or to pick up on that. Okay. So, okay, No says, I've been experiencing strange telepathy in my half-asleep awakened state, like the end of other people's conversations. Doesn't make much sense. Could you tell me where that might be coming from and why? Please. Yes. Okay. So, okay. I don't know, dear Anthony, if these are people that you actually know, or just like that people that are in your surroundings, or just random people. That would be wonderful to know. Okay. And if it's, well, in any case, let me see for you, because I think this is a little bit more specific. Yeah. It's like reordering. I feel like we're all going through a process of reordering, but sometimes when we go into the let's say denser fields, we start to like straighten out different parts of our reality. So we process things during dream state, or we resolve things during dream state that were perhaps necessary in order to go higher. But for you, I would suggest to Anthony to meditate before you go to bed, and to raise your energy as high as you can go. You can even just do conscious breathing, where you're filling yourself up with light and filling your astral body with light, and asking the angels to help you integrate your astral body and to upgrade your astral body, so that it can really go as far as it needs to go, and it doesn't have to stay connected to the denser realms. And you can also ask your angels and God to seal the doors to the lower astral. And this is more for your brain, because we actually kind of already did that collectively, but maybe it will help, and it will allow you to sleep more peacefully, and without any people's energy being in your field. Okay, so just to make sure that you're not absorbing other people's energy. If it's something that you are processing because it needs to be reordered in your field, it's fine. But if you can tell that these are really things that have nothing to do with you, or that you may be picking up from other people, you are in perfect, in the perfect capacity to say, I don't want this. I release all of this, and may it be replaced by divine light, divine energy. And you can just alchemize that and seal your energy to say, please seal my energetic field, and so that nothing and no one can enter this field. And of course, if you need more assistance with that, I'm here. And let me know if these things work. And if not, please write me an email. Okay, dear? Okay, I hope this helps you. Okay. So, okay, so Caffeine Jones says, I fumbled my phone and accidentally opened a video about Hebrew gematria. When I came back, y'all were talking about numbers. If anyone wants to know more about sacred number codes, look into gematria. Okay. That's wonderful. Thank you, Caffeine Jones, for sharing. Okay. Empress Devices feels like home. Yes. Okay. Miss Diva, hello. Okay, so Artsy says, going on the message about if you have to question if that person is the one, then they're not the right one. But what if you feel conflicting thoughts? You feel the magic, expansiveness, joy, love. Okay. Well, if you are not sure, or you're perhaps in a more tender stage or in a more initial stage, you can, my advice would be to, instead of focusing too much on if this is or it's not the right one, or if it's a twin or not, to just really see what happens, to open your field, open your perception, and just let God show you the way. Let the events themselves, the living, the experience of this relationship, of this connection, it will eventually show you if this is the one or not. Because this also happens sometimes. I was just talking to my cousin the other day about how she felt about her twin when they met, and she didn't see it coming at all. Like in the beginning, she never thought. I mean, she's now married and has a baby with him. I mean, they're very happy. They're together. They're in union for quite some years now, 3 years, I think, or 4, a little bit more maybe. But in the beginning, I remember she wasn't sure at all, and she wasn't even sure that she wanted to get married. She wasn't sure that she wanted to have children. So I would always tell her, when you meet the person, when the circumstance is right, you will know. So eventually she knew, And sometimes we just need to let reality and, God bring us the necessary evidence, because it will come for us to know, or to really, embody that knowledge that is already there, because your higher self already knows. It already knows everything. But sometimes the human needs more time in order to make up the mind, to see things, to analyze, and that's always good. That's always okay. Okay. And we all have different paths, different, we're all in a unique experience. Okay. Yes. Yes, and of course, there are things like that. If it's also our place to decide if we want to wait, if we can open ourselves up and maybe see what other possibilities present, and opening up to the possibilities doesn't mean that you are turning around or losing something. You will never lose anything. We're always winning more things. We're always not even winning. We're always aligning with the things that we need to receive. So, this is something that would be wonderful for you to to uncover in yourself, to discover for yourself, what do I need right now? What do I want right now? And to really honor that and to honor your heart, you know? So that's the best advice I can give you for now, my dear Artsy. Okay. So Ronan says, hey Lana, thank you for everything you have helped me with. Going through a pretty big disaster right now, but I have a few questions. Do I type them in here? Yes, you do, dear Ronan. Let me see what we can do about that. Okay. Okay. So let me just go down to the questions. Dear Ronan, if you, we're answering more of like general questions. So if you can find a way to make your question general, that would be wonderful, so that we can assist all the other people, and so that we don't go too much into the detail. I'll be happy to answer that. Okay. Oh, dear TP, thank you. I love that. Is that a peer? Thank you so much for your donation. Okay. 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 AJ Studio says, could you please raise awareness false twin flames do exist? Okay. Miss Diva says, what about dreams and visions and telepathically communication, and why are they so nervous and close eyes when talking? Why are they so nervous? Okay, I think this was meant to be nervous. Okay, let me see the question again. AJ, sweetie, I don't know if you were there before. I talked a bit about the false twins, well, what they mean to me and all that. So I don't know if you heard that. I hope you did. Oh yeah, she said thanks. Oh, okay, good. What about dreams and visions, telepathic communication? And why are they so nervous and close eyes when talking? Okay, so I'm going to answer about the dreams and visions and the telepathic communication. Yes, definitely there's a lot of this going on, but be mindful that because of where we are in time, in this frequency, and because we are anchoring the frequency of union, because the twin flame is a collective, because humans are a collective, because starseeds are a collective, because lightworkers are a collective. But the word collective means that we have constantly sharing information through a grid, so through an energy grid. So, hello guys, can you hear me? Sorry, I think my connection was like a little bit weak, but I hope you guys can hear me all right. So I was talking about the collective. So we're all sharing information through this grid. And in that grid, right now, because we're activating so many things, we're actually being able to be more telepathic in general, and especially if you are a light worker, if you are a starseed or a twin flame or anything like this. So we are starting to have more telepathy and more communication and dreams and visions about everything in general, everything that we put our attention to, everything that we set our attention or that everywhere we set our focus in. So if you are thinking about someone most of your day, there is probably going to be this connection. I mean, the connection that was already there to begin with. You will start to receive and give back energy. So this is something that happens unconsciously. This is something that happens naturally, and not just with your twin flame. It's starting to happen with everybody. But of course, with the twin flame, it's even more. It feels more profound, or more clear, or more strong. But what I'm trying to get to here is that it may be that we have this kind of experiences with someone who is perhaps just a divine masculine or just a divine feminine, who is there to teach us something in that moment in time. So the fact that you are having these dreams and visions and telepathic communication is not to be taken, and under my experience, as like the sign that that person is your twin flame. So if it's taken as an experience of, wow, I'm experiencing the multidimensionality of my being, I think it's very important to learn about that experience. And it's not something that is just positive all the time, because through these connections, we're also able to feel the negative. So we can feel the good things, we can feel the love. If it's a loving connection, we can feel that. And there's this nurturance. But even in a healthy connection, in a healthy relationship, we need to have healthy boundaries. And as multidimensional beings, this means we also need to learn how to have healthy energetic boundaries. Because, you know, in this whole like new age era, there's so much you know, that goes through the fields, and that goes through this communication, you know, even as we speak, even through the collective, all the energy that you tap into, all the people that you tap into, that you receive messages from, they're putting out a certain frequency. And as you connect to them, you're receiving that frequency. And, you know, most of us who put out there these frequencies or this work for other souls to find, we are very careful to protect the level and the quality of that frequency, and to protect that the frequency is not, you know, that there's no interference, and also to protect what comes in and out of this space. That's why whenever I start like this conversations or the healings, I always make sure that the safety of everyone is first, that it is you know, like a very conscious healing, a very conscious way of relating, and that we're not crossing over or bending any boundaries and bending any energetic boundaries, because that can be detrimental, not just for the other person, but for the person, you know, but for both people, let's say. So even if the twin flame is there, if one twin flame feels that the other one is tuning in and connecting much, and, you know, like pulling too much on their energy, for example, if you're getting a lot of readings of your twin flame, if you're constantly thinking about them, if you're like, if there's this kind of obsessive energy or intensity in the energy, the other person will pick up on it, and it will most likely make that person push back, or go and kind of find their sacred space around them. So, but if it were the other way around, if it's the other way around, if the other person is clinging on to you or is grasping to your energy, you may feel depleted. So even as twin flames, and I think even especially as twin flames, we need to learn how to take care of our energy, how to take care of our energy bodies, and how to take care of our energetic boundaries, and to really make sure that we're honoring our own energies, and that we are not overstepping, and also honoring our counterparts' energies, because we all need, it's like a baby, you know, it needs its environment, it needs a certain space and a certain a frequency, a certain protectiveness, a certain you know, boundary around, in order to be able to grow healthy. You know, we all need a safe space in order to grow, in order to develop as the light beings that we are. So that's part of honoring your light and honoring your counterpart's light and honoring everyone's light, really. Honoring the light of each person that you encounter with. So I hope this helped with that. So you're, oh, okay. So I was going to just say something more. So you're able to have all of this and to experience all of this, the magic, the dreams, the visions, the telepathy. But if you set the intention that all of this for the highest good of from you, for your twin flame, for everybody involved, then it's even better. So you're really being mindful of the energies, and you'll probably get clearer messages, and you will probably get more beautiful and peaceful experiences through that. Okay. So let me see. I hope this is making sense for you guys. I feel like I'm super late in the chat. Let me try to go a little bit faster. Okay. So Maba James says, when do you leave the one being healed? After they're shown their wounds and what needs to be worked on? Is it up to them from there, or do you stay to guide them through healing those wounds? Okay, you mean, I think, with the divine feminine and divine masculine, when they are not your twin, right? Well, I think usually these relationships come to their like natural end, but of course, also sometimes they are just let's say they come to an end when one of the person realizes that perhaps they're not being treated in the way they should, or that they have resolved that within them, what they needed to learn. So in this, of course, it's very important to distinguish when there is anything like codependency, and to really be mindful that, you know, we're all there, we're all in our individual journeys, and we're all as we come in with other people and connect with other people, we can learn, and we can learn together. But if you want to continue on, if you want to continue on the twin flame journey, if you want to come together with your divine counterpart, I think you will be pulled towards that. You will be, you will decide that perhaps now it's time for me to really address things on my own, or to really go the path alone, in order to continue, you know, just to move forward on the path, and you know, align with that union in you, so that you can find that divine counterpart. So I think it's more really up to you, dear James, because we're also not here you know, to carry on the wounds and the things of other people. That's something that we did a long time ago, and something that lots of you who are indigo know and have a lot of experience with. And I include myself in that, and carrying other people's things and troubles and resolving things. But right now we're really asked from the divine, from our higher selves, and from all, you know, from divinity, from God. I feel like we're being asked to really step into our divinity, to find our self-love, to make our development our priority, and the further along we get on our own journey, the more we will be able to assist the collective, and the more we will be able to anchor these energies of union, of love, of self-love. So it's really a lot about mastery right now, self-mastery. Okay. Okay. Okay, dear Anthony, I hope what I said helped. Let me know how this develops. Okay. Okay. Yes, Wendy, I think that's wonderful. It's wonderful of what you said and the conclusion you came to. So, yes, that's beautiful. Okay, and TP says, what are signs and symptoms that we might experience when we timeline jump to a new timeline? Well, that depends, my dear TP. It depends like on everybody. But sometimes you won't even really experience any symptoms, but it will be more like room, like, oh, here I am, like this shifted so quickly, or like it's just that what I have experienced is just a very deep and profound change. It can be in perspective, it can be in the perspective that you have on the world or on yourself, or the way you feel in the world, the way your body feels in the world, the way you relate to spirituality. It can be many things. Uh, you can even feel like a new person or like a different person, or you may feel sometimes that you integrate an aspect of yourself that you had maybe lost in the past, or you may feel like your inner child again, or you may feel what else? Or you may experience just a lot of potentiality, a lot of new things coming in, or different things that suddenly change your whole reality, or that change a whole aspect of your reality. This is what I have felt, and what I can tell you. Okay. Okay, I'm coming down to the comments. Hi, Alicia. Nice to see you. Okay. So let me see here. Okay, Renan says, how do we know if Arten has been receiving the downloads, updates, alignment, etc. from your healings? And will these also prevent other people influencing her, i.e. block their energies from her? Okay. No. Well, to answer that, my dear Renan, everyone right now, and especially if you're in the spiritual path, and if you're twin flames, if you're light workers, we're all receiving, and everyone, all human, all beings, all sentient beings in the planet are receiving these upgrades, and especially humans, of course, we are receiving all these codes and updates, and we're activating channels of light that before we weren't able to do. And this is something that is happening collectively. This is something that's happening for each one at their own pace, depending on where they are on their journey, where their soul is, if they are old souls or not, if they are, it's very, very individual the way this is playing out for everybody. And from my healings specifically, when you do the healing for you and your twin flame, you are the one who is like the primary receiver of this. And we always ask in my healings, or it's always stated there energetically, that we ask permission from the higher self of your twin flame or that other person you're doing the healing for, and they will receive whatever they are meant to receive in that moment, whatever they are available to receive, and if they want to receive that healing, that upgrade, and that download. So it's like we open up the channels, and we all have different channels, and the energy that comes through is the same, but as it is coming into your channel, it adapts to what your particular channel needs. So perhaps, for example, your channel is needing a lot of blue light. So this white light that is coming in for everybody turns blue when it comes to your channel. And perhaps for your twin, it turns red, let's say. So the energy that comes in is addressing specifically the parts of you that are ready to be healed, or the parts of you that need to be activated in that moment. And the same for your twin. So, but the deep healing work and the deep transformational work, and the deep energetic work, or the conscious work, it's also very important in the journey. So it's important to have our spiritual routine. It's important to know about energy. It's important to start to learn how to take care of our own energy, how to heal ourselves, and this is something that only we can do for ourselves. So there is only so much that other people can give to you and can work with you, but you, even if you're going to like a specialized healer, let's say, you are the one who is running the show. You are the one who is showing up for the healings. You are the one who is investigating and addressing and talking about the issues that you have. So really to get into that place and to know for sure that any person is protected and that is, not influenced by something else in their reality, it's really up to them. It's a very, very individual, and it depends on how they, on their journey, how they are living their lives and how they are taking care of their own energy. Okay, and this is something that each one of us has to do. Like, we cannot put the responsibility of our healing into someone else, and of course not our twin flame, not our healers, not our family, our friends, no one. The responsibility for our healing is completely up to us. Okay. Okay, guys, give me just 1 minute. I need to plug this thing because I'm running out of battery. So just give me 1 second, please. And you can type in your questions. I feel like we're going to do a couple more, and then we will do a very small transmission, and then I will let you guys go, and we will see each other the next weekend. So we will start to wind down. Okay. Okay, so I hope you guys can hear me there. I just had to move. Since I changed this thing with the microphone, I've been like testing. I'm still getting the hang of it, guys. I hope soon I'm going to be a little bit better with it. I am not like the technology person, so I'm just getting the hang of this. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so AJC says, absolutely fully agree. My foster actually is a mother, my mother-in-law, family, and spiritual life path. Now, 14 years later, I'm a completely new person. Wow, that's amazing. That's beautiful, dear. Okay. Kids keep punishing without me and vice versa. It's a couple. Okay. Okay, dear Renan. No worries. If you need any help with that, with your situation, um, I can offer you, like my personal assistance if you want to have a healing with me, twin flame healing. We can address all of this, and I could walk you through some things to help out in this situation. Because it seems like there is a lot of love. I can feel that. So let me know if you are interested in that, or if you have like anything that is present or urgent. Just write me an email, and I can address that privately. Okay, dear. I hope this helped. Okay. So let me see. Going down here. TP says yes, appear. I loved it. It's so funny. Okay. So Anthony says, I think it's a bit more general. Do you think it could ever be a good idea to contact an ex-partner if there are unresolved issues? Could that improve the energetics in my twin flame relationship? You mean an ex-partner that is not your twin flame? Um, yes. I mean, I think it depends on what, on the situation, of course. Um, but I think sometimes, I mean, it's always good to revise, and I have had this happen to me in multiple occasions where I run into ex-partners, or um, yeah, it's most of it has been coincidence, but for me, it's always really nice to see, when people from the past show up, or when we feel pulled to go to the past. For me, it's like we go to revise something. Our soul wants us to perhaps acknowledge something, or to see how far we've come, or to see how much we've changed, or to perhaps change our perspective about that past situation, to resolve things. So if it's made through the through the heart, through a place of peace and resolve, I think it's always good, and it can always be positive to have these kind of flashbacks, to kind of go into the past, into past situations. We learn from our past, and we can also learn how to be very grateful. And it's always a not a coincidence, and it can be a beautiful experience. Okay, so I would say yes. Basically. Okay. So Wendy says, thank you, Lana, and everybody here supporting each other. Thank you, dear Wendy. Yes, thank everyone who's here. I'm so glad we're doing this. It's the first time that I actually do a Q&A, and I'm really thankful to all of you who are here, and all of you who will listen later, and all of you who are asking your questions. Okay, so Alicia says, hi, dear. How does the Age of Aquarius enhances or affect unions? I've heard and have read it supersized the energies, positive and negative. Yes. Well, the Age of Aquarius. Well, it's actually, the whole. everything that we are experiencing right now, it's this a whole other um, how can I say, vibrancy, this whole other frequency, and the frequency that we're receiving will continue to get higher and higher and higher. So some of us, and especially people who haven't really been on a spiritual journey, I mean, this high frequency or this massive amount of energy that is coming in, that is divine energy, this is causing a lot of awakenings already. If not, they wouldn't be awakened. But for them, it will be kind of like for you when you first woke up. So it's not something that, I mean, everyone experiences this differently, but there is a lot of shock. There's a lot of reordering. There's a lot of healing that needs to take place in order to, let's say, catch up with the frequencies where they are, to catch up with the new information, to catch up energetically and mentally and rationally, because many of the people that will start to wake up and that are waking up are people like your neighbor and your mom and your cousin. And, you know, these are people that perhaps right now look at you and go like, oh my God, look at that weirdo, you know, like she's like, I don't know, this into spirituality, into angels, into healing, into all of this new age stuff. And perhaps they are next to be in line to awaken, and they will start to ask questions, and they will start to go through similar experiences like you did. So this is why for some, this age is going to be something very, or it can be something very impactful and perhaps even a little bit dramatic, because the dark night of the soul comes in, many things come in. There's going to be a huge paradigm shift. So this is why many of us are awakened here. This is why many of the healers that and the way showers that are now kind of leading a little bit or shining with their light, and being this beacon of light for the people who are awakened and who will be awakening. We have been prepared for many years for this. I remember my teacher, Jogi Bhajan, he spent years, all of his career, let's say, all of his life, devoted to preparing people for this age, for this time, to develop the tools through yoga to have during this time where so many shifts are happening. And this is something that you have been experiencing, that I have been experiencing, these massive amounts of energy coming in, these energy waves being knocked down. You know, a normal person that has no understanding for what's going on, they'll probably think that they're sick or that there's something wrong with them. So if you look back, we have come a long way in understanding our multidimensionality, and there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot to experience, and there is so much more to discover, and so much more that is coming, and it's coming quickly. So this is why for some it will be amazing, because you will feel this sense of freedom, this sense of passion, and especially for those of you who are light workers, you will feel like you're at home for the first time. You'll have a sense of community for the first time. You will feel understood for the first time. But at the same time, we are meant to do a lot of hard work, like a lot of work, not hard work, but like a lot of healing work and a lot of shift and a lot of transformation in order to keep up and in order to feel well. So for the people who don't have this experience, it will be like even harder, let's say, or it will be, you know, even more to catch up with. But we will, and you know, that's also why there are so many tools now. There's this growing community of conscious being, of healers. And please always, in that, you know, I always say, please discern through your energy who a true healer is, who is truly helping you, who you can really feel safe with and expand and talk and get the help that you need and get the light that you need. Please don't, be influenced by fear or by fear-based mentalities of people who claim to be healers or who claim to be light workers if they're not in their light. Okay, so just be very careful of that, because the more we grow, the more there will be everything is available. So hopefully we're coming into the other side and we are growing in consciousness. But of course we're still human, and we can still, maybe not even intentively or not even on purpose, we may fall into these things. So it's important that you are always very conscious of your own energy, of your own path, and that you are the master, the teacher, the healer of your own path, that you're directing yourself through love, through unconditional love, through the divine. And from there, you can seek all the help you want, but you will be aligned with that, and you will know. Okay, you will know what's for you. Okay. So I hope that answered that. Okay, so AJ Sweetie says, with your healings, I'm able to feel my real twin flame. Found out about him back in 2017. Never met physically, only around. That is amazing. I can feel him. Oh my God, so incredible. I love it. Thanks. Oh, you're so welcome, AJ Sweetie. Yes. When we are doing these healings, we tune into, the highest frequency of love that we hold. And of course, our counterpart, our divine feminine or divine masculine will show up in there. So that's my intention, that you also start to, to receive that love, even if it's not showing up physically yet, but that you tap into that experience of love, that you tap into that energy of that divine love that is there for you, that has always been there for you, and that will always be there for you. So the more we tap into that, the more it becomes part of our reality, and the more we can feel it, and then the more we can know when it's there, when it's really here, showing up in the physical world. And I think this is something that many of you will be experiencing this year. So I'm very happy about that. Okay. So Orbacron says, Kitty Power Meow, perfect. Just listening in, Lana. That's so funny. Thank you, dear. Thank you for being here. Okay. Oh my God, I missed so much. Okay, let me just continue here. Okay, so AJ Sweetie says, how can this be as I am not yet single, still living at the false twin flame? You? My dear, I didn't understand this question. Okay, so if you're, I think if I interpret this right, if you're not with if you're with someone and you know that they're not your twin flame, again, perhaps this is something that you need to learn from them, or they need to learn from you. Or sometimes it's also about, learning how to let go or to move on. I'm not saying this is the case for you, dear. I don't know your specific situation, but sometimes it's also about empowering ourselves and saying, you know what, do I really need to be in this relationship, or is there a fear behind this, or is there a commodity behind this, or is there somewhere lack? So if the reason that you are in a certain relationship is because of anything else than you know, devotion and sharing love with someone else, or learning and experiencing, but at the same time, of course, sharing love, then, you know, perhaps it's a good time to reflect and to say, okay, why am I really here? Is this something that I'm learning, or is my lesson actually to be able to leave this relationship and to be perhaps be able to experience life on my own, or to experience myself as a whole being without needing to be in a relationship all the time, or things like that, you know? So, I'm not saying this is the case for you because I don't really know, my dear, but it could be some of these options. Okay. Okay. So, Bubba James says, do you know anything about dot codes? No, my dear. Uh, I don't know anything. I mean, it doesn't sound. I'm just asking if there's anything that I can say about that. So, do you mean if they are like a specific kind of codes that we're receiving or something like that? Okay. Okay, so Alicia says, okay, one thing I have to learn is to trust the process. I can hear you. Okay, good that you guys can hear me. Um, okay, Tiff Music says, any thoughts on getting really clear on Twin Flame mission and how to really get into that work even before union occurs in the physical between the twins? Yes, this is a great question, dear, and it's actually a very important one because I have seen that when the twins are are about to come into union or are close to coming into union, one of the things that is really helpful is for both of them to be on mission already, and especially the divine feminine. Um, there is this like pull, or I have seen a lot that being in mission for the divine feminine is one of the greatest things, or finding or determining or trying to experience or find the experiences to know what mission is, or working on mission, or focusing on finding mission, perhaps looking for help or assistance if you need that in order to be more clear, or to receive guidance, or to do meditations, whatever you need to do, but to focus on mission itself takes off the focus of the counterpart and of the twin flame connection and of the union, and it actually propels it, because we need to understand that as twin flames, it is not our only mission to come into union. It is part of the process, but our mission is actually something that is the most important thing, and it is to serve. However you're going to serve humanity, however it presents to you, however um, your talents are presented, your gifts are presented, however your passion is presented. And I have found that the most beautiful way, or the most high way that we can serve humanity is by doing what we love, and by serving and doing what we love. So if you don't have a clue of what that is, it's a very good thing to start to wonder and to start to experience and to put yourself out there, and to really go on that mission. Perhaps the mission for some of you is to find what your mission is, and that's a very beautiful and crucial place to start, um, because all twin flames, I believe, are here to serve more broadly, are here to serve humanity through their own healing, from the feminine and the masculine, through the balancing of the energies, through the union, but also through their own individual missions, and then through their collective missions. So through their mission together. So finding your mission now, and your passion, and really going for it, can actually, or I have seen that it can actually help the whole process a lot. So, and how to get really clear is, again, really to use all your tools, perhaps that you were using for healing your connection or whatever, to use the tools that you have been presented with to make the objective, or the, it's like finding a treasure, it's like playing and starting to see, okay, to remember, what do I love to do, and how could this benefit not only me but other people, or how can I serve, uh, and how can I make myself happy. So mission always starts by finding out what makes you happy, what makes you thrive, what makes you feel whole, what makes you feel uh, you know completely gratified, and what makes you feel gratitude for God. So all of these things are the pointers to finding your mission. So I hope this helps, and if you need any further assistance with that, I'm here. um, I'm here for you. Okay, so okay. Okay, so dear Artsy, I'm going to go into the more general questions, because I think this is very, very personal. And if you want more assistance with that, to really go into detail of you, your twin flame, and to heal and to go into healing for that, I would invite you to book a session with me, or to have a session with me through my website, and then we can really go into all the details of the connection and see what we can help you shift and change. Okay, but to honor everyone who is here, I will continue to the more general questions. Okay. um, okay, and the same for the same goes for Alicia. Okay. um, okay. Okay, dear Renan. Oh no, no problem. That's fine. Anyone who wants like more detailed and more like in-depth assistance, and all the details, because you know each twin flame situation is different, and this is also why I offer these healing sessions where we go through 1 hour of talking about, we go half an hour talking about the situation, and then the next half an hour is you receiving the healing. uh, because I don't want to um, like say something which is very general, which may not apply at all. There's a lot in the energetic realms that is very important for twin flames, so I like to be very careful and to address things in much detail, but with the time and with the right tools. Okay, so as not to give you some like guidance that is not accurate. Okay. Okay, great. So, okay, so G says, "Hi, dear Lana. Lately, I have had like ring lock over my ear every now and then. Do you know what that can be? Is it a lock around the ear chakras or something else?" Um, and Louise says, "It's receiving downloads." Yes, it can be that you're receiving downloads, but it can also be, we have very small, we have I believe there are three smaller chakras in the ears, and we have many connections around the ears. So if we're a little bit more sensitive, we can get a lot of, when the energies are so high and the frequency is so high in the planet, or the Schumann resonance goes up, and there's this massive amount of energy coming in. or we listen to music that is very loud, or anything, even like sounds that perhaps before weren't affecting you, they can affect these little like energy grids, and the energy in your ears. So if it's something that is bothering you, I would tell you to perhaps get a healing for that, or if you can, or you're familiar with healing, you can just ask God, ask your angels to adjust your hearing and adjust your ears and adjust the energetic connections of your ears to be able um, to regulate whatever frequencies are coming in a more, graceful way. Or I don't think it would be a block or anything like that. I think it's more like an extra sensitivity. So perhaps asking the divine, asking your guides um, to help you in adjusting to the new frequencies and to adjust specifically through the ears. Okay, so I think that would be good for you. And also, if you need a little bit more help with that, let me know, and I'll be happy to see into that specifically, and to help you, because it happened to me, and it has happened to a lot uh, of people who I know that are healers and stuff, that um, there are very sensitive parts in our ears, so it's important to take care of them, to take care of the sounds that we are listening to, and also maybe to take some distance from electronics sometimes, and to always work with your team of light um, to help you adjust better to the changes and to the frequencies that are coming in. Okay. And of course, if you know a little bit of Reiki, you know how to clear. You can also be good to clear to clean the chakras in the ears and in the throat, and in your Ajna chakra, because I feel a lot comes also from the mind for you. I'm just receiving that. I'm getting a little bit of headache, so it's all in the higher chakras: forehead chakra, Ajna, and the ear chakras, and the throat chakra. If you get a clearing for that, or you clean them yourself, that will be really helpful. Okay, let me know how this goes for you. Okay. Okay, perfect. Mm, okay, perfect. Okay, so I think I'm going to start to wind down. I'm going to I'm going to answer Emiluna's question, and I think we're going to end up there. Okay, so okay, so let me see, Emeluna. Hi, Lana. What advice on developing individual gifts such as clairvoyance, clairsentience, etc.? Okay, so I love these questions. This is actually one of my favorite topics, and I actually just opened this coaching for Lightworkers, where we go through that, or for people who want to develop their clairvoyance, clairsentience. We work in 5 sessions, and I am really loving to do this. It's one of my passions in this world of healing. So the first advice that I would give you in order to develop that is, first of all, to have a very a consistent practice, spiritual practice, so that you meditate every day. This is really the foundation for any for receiving any kind of opening of these gifts, that you really start to tune into your own energy, and to start to feel, and to I call it play, to start to feel your energy, and to tap into God, and to and to receive. So if you have a certain way that you meditate, that's wonderful. But it's more about, for this in particular, it's more about, you can do guided meditations, but also be sure to include meditations where you are the one who is connecting. So silent meditation, which doesn't mean it has to be completely silent, but you can just have your own conversation to the divine, and where you can just sit down and receive and feel the sensations as the energy comes down through your crown. You can ask for your channels to be opened. You can ask for the upgrades to come in. You can ask for your field to be cleansed. There's like a certain amount of cleansing that we actually have to go through, which I call the purification process, in order to be ready to receive these gifts and to not only receive them, but to actually understand them. Okay. And to actually be able to work with them. So there's a whole like process that happens in order to activate this. But the first thing is that if you know that you want to activate this gift, the first thing that I would say is to write down and to have very clear why you want these gifts to be activated. Why would you like to develop clairvoyance? Why would you like to develop clairsentience? And what would you do if you had them already? Okay? So being very clear about this is crucial, because, of course, the more prepared you are to receive these gifts, it means that when you do receive them, you will know what to do, or you will put them to good service. You will put them to service God, most of the people that have these gifts, they really come to their full development when they are actually serving people. And the more you serve, the more the other gifts get active. The more you put it to serving humanity, the more you get the gifts, you get these rewards, let's say. So for me, when this started, it was a little bit traumatic, because it was when I was a kid and I always had it. So it wasn't something that just started, but then it went away. And then it came back when I was around 17. And when that happened, it was very frightening. And I didn't feel ready to have it. And I went through a lot of processes and a lot of healing. It actually was one of the reasons why I even began in this quest of spiritual paths and things, to understand why I was experiencing this. But when the gifts really starting to make sense, and when everything started to work as a perfect engine, like when all the pieces started to come together, is when I started to serve others and to use my gifts in order to help others. So it's something that's very funny, because I've never really, and this is, I think, the first time that I actually say this, I've never really been able to use my gifts to heal myself, or I have been able, but I haven't really focused much on doing that. But when serving others, it comes naturally. So I understood that there was a part of this giving and receiving, and that, all healers and all spiritual people, unless you are like already in this like other level, but we all need assistance. We all need assistance sometimes. We all need a different point of view. We all need healing. And this has been something wonderful for me, to be able to to serve, and also to experience what it feels like to receive, because we don't do that very often, and sometimes as healers we forget. And I know that if you're a healer, you know what I'm talking about, that you are serving, and then you forget to actually receive. So when you are starting, it's very important to be very clear on why you want these gifts and what you would do with them. Would you use them for your own benefit, or for the greater good of all, or for, whatever you want, whatever you desire? Just state that. And then you can talk to God and say, God, I am here. I am ready. I am ready to serve. I am ready to be one of your light workers here. I am ready to do this in a more conscious way. Just send me the steps. What do I need to do? Send me the steps. If I had this gift, I would do this and this and this. And you can just have this conversation with God and see what happens, and set your intentions. I always said with another friend of mine who's also a healer, that since I was a child, I was like, like that annoying person in the classroom that's with their hands up all the time, like, here, pick me. So this is what these gifts sometimes, in a way, everybody would love to have them somehow, but they're actually so much work, and they demand so much, humbleness, so much work on yourself, so much love for humanity, so much compassion, so much not judging yourself. They demand so much in order to come, that in the end it's just one person in the classroom raising their hand like crazy. That was me. So if that's you, continue to raise your hand and say, God, I'm here, I'm ready, I want to do this. And sooner or later, I think you will start to receive, if you're ready, when you're ready, of course. Okay, but this is these are very important steps for you to get you started. And there's nothing between you and God. There's nothing between you and your higher self. So the more you can communicate and state what you want to do, what your wishes are, and how you want to serve, and what you would do with these gifts, they will get activated. Okay. So of course, if it's for your highest good and all, but I'm thinking it's very likely. Okay, my dear. Okay, so Hannah says, tapping in to tell you I've been here. This is just beautiful. I feel so much love for you. Thank you for being here for me to find. Oh, my dear Hannah, I also feel so much love for you. And I'm so happy that you're here. I can't wait to do your healing. I know you have a mini healing. I will do those next weekend. Okay, so I think I will start to wind down now. I loved this I loved all of your questions, actually. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ronin. Thank you, TP. Thank you, G. Most times been after I meditate. So much for the advice. Yes. So if anyone has, like further questions, or wants to work with me, and wants to go through your own things in a more, detailed way, I'm always there to serve you with the sessions. I have the coaching. That's what I offer on my website, but I also offer, the free full moon gatherings every month. We also have the free collective healings, and then the mini healings, which are like on a 2020 donation. And so there's a variety of prices and ranges for you to work with me in that way, or in a more direct way, or in whatever way you find that helps you, and that helps you in your journey. So yeah, I'm honored to be here with all of you. I can feel this beautiful energy coming from you, and I thank you for that. And I will continue to do this work in the hopes that it serves you guys. And I'm also planning to do this new guided meditations. I know it's been a while, and some of you have asked me, but I had like such a huge upgrade myself that I'm only now starting to navigate my new self. So with that, I know that the meditations will also acquire something more or something different. So as soon as I get, how to use this new microphone and to adjust everything, I will put it up there. I will upload, and I think it's going to be very soon. So stay tuned, and also please participate in the community page. If you don't know what that is, that's on my YouTube channel. If you go in the channel on the tabs above, there's a part that says community, and I write some energy updates there. I share some pictures, and we get to also communicate while we're not like in the lives, or we get to communicate a little bit more through that. And I also answer questions there and answer things. So sometimes I do polls on what you guys want me to talk about. So please share with me, and anything that helps us to evolve, to develop, and to heal together is always welcome. So I hope this was of help to you guys, and I'm going to send you a lot of love. Please, if you feel guided or if you like this, please share, subscribe, and all of those things. That really helps other people to find these videos. Okay, so I will see you all next weekend, and please take care of your energies, drink a lot of water, and we will do a nice deep healing next weekend. Okay, it was an honor to be with you. I love you all so much. Thank you, dear Alicia. I love also to see you when you guys are supporting each other. I love that this is growing, and this is such a loving community. So thank you all. Sending you many, many blessings and a lot of healing for your journey. Okay. It was just a small transmission right now. Take care, you guys. I'll see you very soon. Okay? Be blessed.